Things have been deteriorating since the Enlightenment, really. The Enlightenment was a great, you know, a great step in human thinking, but it was hubristic. It thought it could understand everything, and it can't. So basically, you say we've gathered a lot of information. This is absolutely right, but information is not understanding. Information is a step towards
Yes.
understanding, but it isn't an understanding in itself. And I think that what's happened, coming to the second rather different part of your question about can we see it in our socio-political world, I believe we certainly can. A number of characteristics, I think, will strike everybody. One is the rise of a kind of bureaucratic procedural way of thinking, which has no room for the actual reality of the individual case. Everything is subsumed into an algorithm. These algorithms are supposed to replace skills and wisdom which are acquired through the living of a good life. And they don't replace them. In fact, they cause a disaster, and the things that they're supposed to be helping and promoting become harder and harder to pursue. So right now, in the worlds I know, universities and hospitals, there are enormous, ever-increasing bureaucratic structures in which the bureaucrats are recruited and paid higher salaries than the doctors, the professors, the people who actually do the business. So this meta process, which is typical of the left hemisphere, a schematic, theoretical, abstract representation of a reality, is triumphing over the reality that it is supposed to be there to support. Equally, the left hemisphere wants things simple. It's not very intelligent, as I say, and it needs to be quick and dirty. So it's absolutely not the case that the right hemisphere jumps to conclusions. The right hemisphere is always saying, well, yes, but it might be something else. The left hemisphere jumps to conclusions. It needs to be, if it's going to be an effective predator. It is effectively simply in the service of being a good predator. And to do that, it's no good going, well, could be a rabbit, might not be. You just got to go and get it. And so everything in this world has to be black and white. It's either this or it's that. But almost everything that is of importance carries shades of meaning. And what's more, we've lost through this simple idea of a path to the truth, that if you follow it, you get there. We've lost the reality that all things carry with them a shadow, which is at the moment not something we recognize. So if you follow a certain thing that seems good at the outset far enough, you will come to the very bad thing that you were trying to avoid. For example, a very obvious and simple one is individual freedom is, up to a point, an extremely important thing. But if you have absolute chaos and anarchy, there will soon be a tyranny. So you go back away from the thing you were pursuing. And this is happening in our world, this combination of a number of factors, reducing everything to procedures, to categories, doing away with wisdom, skill, and indeed common sense, so that we are led into fallacious views and we're not seeing where we're going. Often when, this is a psychologically valid observation, when people are absolutely convinced that they must be right. And there are, I'm afraid, people who are not even minimally skeptical about their own ideas. If somebody is absolutely certain that they're right, and you point out to them that the policy they have implemented is actually going to the wrong place, instead of saying, well, maybe we should rethink that and maybe we should take another path, they will redouble their efforts in exactly the same direction. I've seen this in every sphere of life in my 70 years. I'm sure you have too.